Hey love, I'm Gena. I'm a fitness and nutrition coach who helps women find relief from food obsession, body shame, and perfectionism so they can feel calm, confident, and strong without obsession. If you're exhausted from overthinking food, afraid of weight gain, or stuck trying to do everything right but still never feeling enough, you're in the right place. I know this terrain deeply. I've lived through restriction, treatment, binging, rebuilding, and the identity loss that comes with letting go of control. And now I help women stop punishing themselves, rebuild trust with their bodies, and create strength and health that actually feels sustainable. This is a space where healing and body goals get to coexist, where fitness doesn't cost you your peace, and where you don't have to do this alone. Take a breath. You're safe here. This is the Fit Without Obsession podcast. I know sometimes when you lose your period, it can feel like this mystery that you don't know how to address. You don't know what possibly could be going wrong, but truthfully, it's not a mystery. It's actually a receipt. And really for me, this is an episode that truly speaks to the person that I was before. I honestly never naturally ovulated my entire life. And you're like, that doesn't even sound remotely real, right? But literally not once, until I was actually 30 years old, I had my first natural cycle with ovulation. And today I really want to share the 3 things that finally got my cycle back. And not one of the things that I'm going to share is actually to gain weight, because I feel like that is the advice that we hear so much of the time when it comes to period recovery, is that that's really just the one answer. And honestly, I don't think that even goes remotely deep enough to what is actually required to get your period back after you've missed it. So really for me to kind of go a little bit more into my story of period recovery is that when I was 16, I still had yet to get my period, which was obviously very distressing. I felt really left out. At that age, I'm like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with my body? All of my friends have been having their periods since they were 12 years old. Even my sister got it, and she's younger than me. And so what happened is I went to the doctor and they actually gave me medication to induce my period because I wasn't naturally getting it on my own. And from there, I still didn't continue to have natural cycles, so they put me on birth control, literally at 16, and I was on it up until almost 30. I think I was about 29 when I came off, and I would have some sporadic periods, but none of them were actually real because, again, we can't actually ovulate if we're on birth control, so I never really truly had a real ovulation. But even after years of being on birth control, I started to bleed even less and actually fully even lose my period on birth control. And really what the answer I was given was at the time from every single doctor was to stay on birth control, saying you need the estrogen, you just need to have that in your system. We want to make sure for bone density purposes. Obviously, that's very important, but it was really just a Band-Aid fix. It kind of turned it into this thing where I was like, okay, I guess that's just a future thing that I worry about. But now that I'm again, I'm 30 now, but I was getting up there, 29, I had just gotten married, and I was like, well, you know what, this is obviously going to affect me potentially being able to have kids. And that's really important to me. I want to have kids. This is never or no longer a future issue. This is actually a current issue that I need to kind of confront. So I actually ended up going to a fertility specialist to kind of see hey, is there something wrong? Because I was kind of genuinely convinced that it wasn't hypothalamic amenorrhea. It wasn't a missing period because of distrust with my body. For some reason, I was because I think it's because I've done so much healing. And even the answer she gave me was, hey, you literally were at such a low body weight when you had anorexia, even if you were doing all the right things, which I honestly had. I had gained some weight. I was doing a lot better with food and fitness. Honestly, I would say pretty healed. I was feeling pretty good about it. She was sometimes when your weight gets that low, you just your brain doesn't recover, which was really hard for me to hear. So she actually put me on hormone replacement therapy. So I was taking estradiol and progesterone pills, and that was actually inducing my period. I actually started to get a bleed again, which is so exciting. But again, that was hormones creating that. That was really just a withdrawal bleed, in the same way that being on birth control and having a bleed is just kind of a withdrawal bleed. It's not actually your body doing it. So I still craved wanting to ovulate. So what I did from there is I actually, got off the hormones, and I wanted to get my hormones rechecked. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to actually take these next 3-4 months to really take myself through period recovery protocol. Because I actually have helped get so many of my clients get their period back. And I take them through a very specific set of kind of, steps that we go through. And I was like, you know what? I had convinced myself that that wasn't something I was struggling with, but I was like, I'm going to just see how it goes. I'm going to pull back. I'm going to literally treat my body the same way that I would tell my clients to treat it and see if I can get my cycle back. And I actually was able to literally last month, so that's what prompted me to share this, like actually not only get a period naturally off the hormones, but actually ovulate. And I can tell from tracking my temperature and just seeing the change there. And so that has just been so exciting to it really had this full circle moment where I feel like for so long my body literally never naturally knew how to do this. And I think I was like so scared, like, wait, like if it's never done it, is it ever going to be able to? Like I'm 30, it should have been doing this for years. So really that was just a reason that prompted me to kind of share this and kind of bring these things up, because it honestly didn't require me gaining a ton of weight. Like I will say, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, like I did gain some weight. I would say like I gained like maybe like 5 to 8 pounds, but like realistically in the grand scheme of things, that's really not like a lot at all. That might sound like a lot to some of you, but the thing is, I mean, I've heard of people like gaining like 30 pounds and still not getting their period back, right? So it's not really about that weight. And like, that's one thing that I wanted to share in here today too. And I really want to go into like why the just gain weight advice like truly pisses me off. And it's because like, that's really just like this like generalized feedback or advice that we get from doctors, or you've maybe even heard online from other coaches, and it doesn't actually tell you the actual habit changes you need to be making to get your cycle back. Like, yes, when we gain weight, and that might be a necessary part of the process, that does create somewhat more trust with your body. But if you're still having sporadic, like, eating regimens, if you're still not actually eating with consistency and it's kind of all over the place, where maybe you're eating more calories, but it's not actually something that your body can get used to in a rhythm and a routine, if you're actually still cutting out certain macronutrients or not having enough carbs or actually in this stressed out state, like, all of those things are going to matter more than you actually gaining weight, because really when we lose our period, it is about body trust. It's about safety, right? So when we're not actually giving your body like safety, consistency, and fuel and rest and permission, it's not going to matter what that number on the scale says, right? And that's why too, like even hearing this advice can even send women into a spiral, because for one, you think your body's broken because you're not getting a period. And then also like having to gain weight, like, and also be told that it might not even work. Like that's hard. that's like a lot to process. So I really want you to understand that your body is not withholding your period to punish you. Like it's not. It's truly not broken. The cool thing is like literally after never ovulating, my body still did it. Like that's the awesome epic thing about our bodies. They can always like relearn and show up for us. And it's like, so if your body is in a state where it's not having a period, it's not betraying you. It's really responding exactly the way that it's designed to respond. When it's getting signals all day, every day that you are not safe or not fed or not resting. Periods are kind of in a sense like a luxury function for your body. I mean, and they really shouldn't be, right? Like I don't mean that like having a period is a luxury, but when our body is in survival mode, it's going to treat having a cycle as that, because it's not necessarily necessary for survival, right? It's one of those things that it can kind of push to the side while it prioritizes other things because you're not feeding it enough, or you're not resting enough, or you're not giving enough safety. So your body is going to shut it down before it's going to shut down like your heart or your brain or your lungs, right? So when we talk about getting your cycle back, we're not actually talking about hacks. We're talking about like, we truly need to convince your body that the famine is over, right? Like the threat is gone and that it can actually come back online and like start ovulating again. So I really wanted to make this simple here. And there's definitely more than 3 things that I did when I was trying to get my cycle back, but I feel like these are 3 of the most important, crucial things that really were a game changer for me and something that I find is really, truly a game changer for a lot of my clients. So I really wanted to go into kind of just a strategy today so that you aren't just stuck sitting there thinking like, okay, the only way to get my period back is to gain weight, and that's the only answer here. So the first thing that I did was I started eating earlier in the day. So old me, I would get up early, like, and I still do. I actually get up at 6 a.m. and I would wake up and I would end up like having some coffee or some pre-workout, and I would train fasted, or even I actually started having like maybe a banana before, but like realistically that really wasn't enough for me. And I would just call it kind of intuitive eating. Like I would be like, I'm just not hungry. I just like to move first. And then I would eat. Like I'm literally telling you, like, guys, I was still eating like 2,000 plus calories a day, but I was pushing off breakfast till about 10. And so like, if I was getting up at like 6, 7 a.m., like that's a long ass time, especially with the stress of working out to be putting on my body before I'm having my first meal of the day. So it wasn't like really coming from a restricted place. That was just like the way that I was showing up, but I didn't realize how much that was hurting me and hurting my body. Right. So when you're like awake for hours, when you're working out, when you're running on cortisol and you're telling your body like that food isn't coming when you're in the stage, essentially. So that is a stress signal on top of like another stress signal of the workout, another stress signal of just like you getting up and like cortisol's already spent. Like it's just like a lot first thing to start off. Your body's like, whoa, what the fuck? Can we put the brakes on? This is a lot. So what changed for me is I really started to eat before and like right after training. So I was front loading the day. Basically, and I don't want to make this about calories, but I even made a post about this like while I was doing this, that I was like 900 calories deep by 9 a.m. And that was so true because I was having kind of essentially a pre-breakfast snack, like a pre-workout snack, and then still having my breakfast when I would get home from the gym. And really, like, that helped my body honestly establish trust first thing. It knew right off the bat, no matter what. And I did this on weekend days too, not just training days. I would still have a pre-breakfast snack even on the weekends when I was resting. That started teaching my body like, hey, food is here. We don't have to like worry about if she's going to feed us or not, right? Because when you eat, matters really truly just as much if you eat, because your body does not know if you're planning to eat 2,000 calories at 8 p.m. It just knows if it's like 11 a.m. and you haven't ate, like nothing's coming yet. And that can stress your body so far out. So I think too, like if you're someone that is stuck where you're maybe on this like binge restrict cycle, and I think a lot of the times when we're binging, we think that we need to restrict the next morning because we like feel guilty for what we ate the night before. Your body doesn't remember yesterday, or it just like wakes up fresh. It knows that it's fasted for maybe 12 hours and it's like, hey, where is my like breakfast? Are you going to feed me or what? So the second thing that I started doing was having 3 full meals on the weekend. Really, honestly, like old me, I like to have the flexibility. I would love to like sleep in a little bit. I liked having a big brunch with like my husband. I kind of just turned it into like when we get to the weekends, I would have one big meal in the morning and then I would have like a dinner, right? A bigger dinner. And I would call that balance. And I really thought that it was me just being intuitive. And it kind of truly was. Like it wasn't like I was trying to restrict or anything. But truthfully, like only giving your body 2 meals, like that is really just a deficit dressed up as like a lifestyle, right? And I was doing that every single weekend. So what truly changed for me is I started to have 3 full meals, even on slow Sundays, even when I wasn't hungry, just because I really needed to retrain that trust with my body, right? And also like my hunger cues at the time were trash. Because I wasn't being super consistent, so I really couldn't even rely on them at the time. Honestly, weekends are where so many of you undo the work that you did Monday through Friday. And it's like, because you think you're being chill, you want to like be flexible, pull back, but like your body automatically thinks that you're starving again, especially if you have a history of under eating and under fueling. It kind of gets scared that you're going back to that place. And really, honestly, like 2 days doesn't seem like a lot, but that's like almost, if you even include Friday, like 30% of your week, right? So that really does honestly matter a lot. Now, the third thing that I did was I actually slowed down. And I know that nobody wants to hear this, but honestly, truly, like nervous system recovery, like is like so crucial when it comes to like getting your period back. And like for me, like I think I used to just exist in a state of burnout and a state of stress. I mean, I had high anxiety my whole life, so it kind of just became normal. And some of you guys are maybe thinking that too, that like, hey, like I'm not stressed. Like I actually am fine. I'm like good when I have a lot on my to-do list. I'm on the go all the time, but like your body doesn't really like understand that. Our bodies were not designed to be like doing 5 million freaking things a day. Like it's not. Like they can't tell the difference between actual danger and then like manufactured stress of like doom scrolling or comparing yourself or checking work emails in bed. Like it's just gonna read the signal, and like the signal that it's getting right now is like it's not safe. Right. So the old me, like I was stuck in a state where I would wake up, I grabbed my phone right away. I would definitely like scroll for like forever before I would even get out of bed. And truthfully, like that put my cortisol through the roof before like my feet even hit the floor for the day, right? Like I was already starting off like on this like overstimulated high, and I was buzzing. And again, like I wasn't fueling myself first thing in the morning either. So that really like in a sense doubled down on the stress I was already getting. So what changed for me is I actually have a slow morning now. Like I told you, I still get up at 6. But I actually don't hit the gym until at least like 7:30. And I put my phone to the side. I don't do a phone time in the morning. And I don't have some like perfect Instagram morning routine, right? Like I just like actually take time to take Brandy out, have some water, sit down and journal, actually like wake up slowly, figure out how I'm feeling for the day. Like I'm not saying everyone has time to do this perfect morning routine, but like you do have time to put your phone to the side and not rely on that first thing in the morning, and also probably spend a couple extra minutes, right? Like I'm not saying you need a whole hour routine, but you do need to start your day or even find pockets of time throughout the day where you are truly like decompressing, because if you're on a high all day long, it's no wonder that you aren't having a bleed right now, right? And I know that you're listening to this and you're like thinking like, okay, but I already ate breakfast. Like, that's great. I'm so happy to hear that. But I would ask, like, are you eating it 3 hours after you wake up though? Because that's not actually breakfast, that's brunch. Like, I honestly, like, I gave myself the rule that I had to eat within 30 minutes of waking up, even at 6 a.m. And I know that that feels so hard and impossible, but like, I promise you, like, that's the work. It's not you purposefully trying to put on weight and like step on the scale and see a different number. It's you treating your body with kindness and love and showing it trust. And I know that you might even be thinking like, I do eat 3 meals on the weekends, but like ask yourself again, are you? Or are you eating like a big brunch and then like skipping lunch, maybe having like a little snack and calling it the same thing? Because that's not the same thing, right? You're also maybe thinking like, I'm not stressed, but you're actually checking your phone at 5 a.m. before you've even opened your eyes. Like that is stress. You are stressed. You're just calling it normal. Like I kind of talked about, I was normalizing things for a while. And the reason this stuff works is not because it's magic. It's really because most of you are doing the opposite of all these three things and calling it healthy right now. So I want to give you some real direction on what to do this week, because obviously, like, I know that period recovery is important to you. I know that it's scary to do these things, but at the end of the day, there's a reason that you tapped in to listen to this episode, right? Like, because you do want to get your cycle back. So I would say start with one thing. Don't start with all three. Just start with one, because I think sometimes starting with all three things can feel so distressing that we just can't even stick to it long term. And really what this is going to take and require is you doing things repeatedly. Like I did these things for months and months before it actually clicked, right? So if it's eating earlier for you, that means like eating within an hour of waking up for the next 7 days. Like I'm saying every single day, not skipping a day because like you're not hungry. Like you need to eat anyway, even if you don't feel hungry. If you pick 3 meals on the weekends, like actually plan them out. Like don't just like go into it like all willy-nilly and just saying like, okay, like we'll see what happens. Like it's not that type of energy anymore. You actually need to actively meal plan your weekend the same way you do when you meal plan your week, so that you ensure you're going to be eating enough. And then if you're going to pick slowing down, if that's the thing that you feel like is easier to land on right now, like keep your phone out of the bedroom in the first part of the morning, right? Like keep it face down until you've been awake 30 minutes, whatever it is. Like don't reach for it right away. Put it on like a brick. I don't know, lock it up. But make sure that you aren't immediately starting your day with stimulation. Your body and your mind is going to thank you so, so much. So again, do one thing for 2 weeks before you decide if it's working. You can't like do it like 1 to 3 days and be like, okay, not for me. Like that's not going to give your body enough feedback, or also your mind enough feedback. Like your body's really going to need more than 48 hours to trust you again. I promise you that. So I just want to close with this. Like getting my period at 30 was not a finish line for me. Like this is still something that I'm actively having to do. I'm actively having to do these recovery habits. Like it's not over now that I just had that one singular period. It's actually even more important, right? But like that was a really big fucking moment for me. Like that was my body finally say like, okay, I believe you. I believe that you're going to feel me. I believe that you're going to actually give me rest. And that's like after 30 years of not believing. And that is available to you too. Like this is not some hack. Again, like it's not that you need some new supplement. You don't have to hit a certain number on the scale. You really just need to be consistent. Like you need to be in this state of like, in a sense, boredom. Like that's the daily proof that your body truly needs to know that you're safe. Again, like your missing period is not a mystery. It's really a receipt for like the action and the habits that you currently have. So you get to finally write a new one for yourself. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Fit Without Obsession podcast. If this episode made you feel seen, understood, or a little less alone, make sure you're following so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you feel called to share, you can tag me on Instagram at @thefitbean_. I love connecting with you there. If you're ready for deeper support, whether that's calming food obsession, rebuilding trust with your body, or getting stronger without slipping back into old patterns, you'll find ways to work with me linked in the show notes. And remember, you are not broken. You are not behind. And you don't need to earn your worth through control. You can want peace and strength. You can heal and build a body you feel at home in. I'm rooting for you always. Talk soon.